Yeah.
I bet you can get Corona as a sponsor right now, cheap as fuck.
What do you think? What do you think will go away? Because when we come out of this, and look, we're going to come out of this, but when we come out of this, society will be changed in a profound way. Nobody ever predicted anything that would make us stay indoors for a couple of weeks, let alone the possibility of a couple of months. When we come out of this, do you think that there's some stuff that people were like fighting for that they thought mattered, that they're not like the idea of like those idiots who identify as animals? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
like the people who are just
Furkins.
like, I really want you guys to call me a snake. I just feel like I'm a snake. Like, will that person just come out of their house and be like, hey, I'm sorry, guys. I'm just happy to be alive. Like, it's cool. We're outdoors now.
No, they'll just be more express. I think they'll take it the other way. Life is short, boys. Let's get our clopping shoes on and let's clop around town on all fours with a horse head jiggling around. No, you get in the back. We're yeah. No, I think they'll do that. I think what will change. Because you said nobody predicted this. Yeah. Nobody reputable predicted this. There's a whole group of crazies who have been predicting this for a long time. I did a video once. One of those prepper TV shows, like Doomsday Preppers, paid me to do a video for them, and very popular show that spawned several copycats, and it's a real thing. And I've met some of these people who are extreme preppers, like millions of dollars spent on prepping. To the point where it's like, you'll be the Negan of your state. Like people who have giant air filtration systems for like huge underground facilities. People who have like anti-aircraft guns and tanks of their own and have stockpiled ammunition for those things, weapon caches, and just silly stuff like National Guard level preparation. And then there's plenty of people who just have like a bunker in their backyard with an air hole and enough food for a year.
All right. I got so much. Steve, I think work from home policies will change for good. That's my prediction. I think that lots of people will got a taste for working from home in offices where they didn't do that before, and will become a viable way to do their jobs. That I think will happen.
Do you think that meetings will finally fucking be emails? No. Like all the time the time that they have like these stupid weekly meetings that they could have been an email.
It'll just be a conference call. Yeah, conference calls. I think conferences will turn into shows. I think that maybe more often, instead of 1,500 people, 40,000 people going to E3, it'll just turn into a well-produced display show.
I disagree with that. Okay. I think the capability for the infrastructure that will support those things might be more in place and more readily available in case there is another thing like this. But once this is over, it's going to be the opposite. Everybody's going to want to be out. Like it's not like everybody is following the advice anyway, but I think people are going to want to express that freedom. And they're going to want to crowd those convention centers. I think
actually, like I'm expecting like as soon as I put tickets on sale for the shows afterward, I'm going to sell like 14, 15 a show. Like it's just really going to be
crazy. Keep completely different ball game. I've got faith. The last thing,
you sons of bitches,
Negan of the state. I don't think that Negan becomes people don't know Negan is a character in The Walking Dead who created a following of violent people who for some period of time ruled the living.
I just assumed that it was just a new racial slur that Kyle had found.
So I think, though, that the guy that becomes this warlord in the apocalyptic state has more to do with leadership abilities than his arsenal. Really, more than one gun is almost wasted on you. So
basically, like, whoever hoards it becomes, like, the lackey. Yeah, the lackey for the person who...
I don't think a guy with 97 guns is more deadly than a charismatic guy with one.
I disagree with that very strongly. I think you just look at some places like Somalia and you see that I don't expect one man to carry 97 guns like one of those Indian goddesses or something with all the arms. I expect him to have 97 soldiers. I expect him to have 97 guys who are with him. And a lot of these guys I'm talking about already have the infrastructure in place for that, whether it's militia ties or whether it's large companies their own that deal with firearm manufacturing and within those safe spaces of conservatism, they're all very like-minded already. Like the guys that I'm talking about, it's like, all right, boys, head up the mountain, and they're ready to go.
They probably have various wives and kids that'll work for them.
But what happens if Kyle supplies 97 soldiers? And then I say, you know what though? I've got the gun now, and I kind of feel like I should follow Steve.
Well, we'll kill you.
Oh, so if I was the only one, but I think that it takes somebody with leadership to keep everyone in line.
First of all, thank you so much, Woody, and I really appreciate your vouching for my leadership skills. But I'll just have to convince Kyle's buddies to follow me. You know, Kyle's friends, the people who would like me, probably.
Yes.
I've
Kyle's
never
friends,
understood
the ones who like Jewish comedians who are on the left. I think that's really.
We all love Seinfeld, all right? He swung so many of us to your side. Seinfeld was big for the Jewish people.
He was our sleeper agent.
He's the modern day Moses. All right, that man has done more for the Jewish person in America than anybody. Forget Oscar Schindler. All right. What do you say? 100, 200?
Yeah.
Seinfeld has saved so many of you from hate crimes. I grew up in a place. Where there were no Jewish people at all. So I had no.
The South.
Yeah. And so I had no.
I just meant the entire South.
Plenty of Jewish people in Atlanta, but certainly where I'm from,
yeah.
Not very many at all. None, zero. And so the only impression that I had of Jewish people came from A, Seinfeld, and B, that sticker on that magnet on my grandmother's refrigerator that said, "My God is a Jewish carpenter." And I was like, okay, all right, they seem like good people.
What skills do you have that would? Like I was talking, so my buddy Chris Bowers, who's one of the co-hosts of the live stream, he has like a fuck ton of friends in Indiana, and like one of them has a big old house, and they've all joked around for years, like, oh, if the apocalypse comes, we're going to Indiana and we're gonna live out of there. And I was like, hey, bring me. And he was like, well, what can you do? And I was like, I could build shit. Like I think that's the one skill I have.
Wait, are you literally a Jewish carpenter?
I am literally a Jewish carpenter.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not pro style, but like, like the wall behind me, I made like that. I can make stuff like that. The desk I'm sitting at, things like that.
That's one big piece, isn't it? You're talking about screwing those signs up.
You bought that from Home Depot and just tipped it up against an existing wall, didn't you?
Mm-hmm. I don't mean I made the sign, and that's the thing that YouTube gave me back there. I mean the freaking the wood.
We're saying that's all one piece. That's a big. That's land.
Oh yeah. It was one piece. But what I'm saying is that I did hire a guy from Home Depot to bring it, and that is a valuable
Jewish
skill.
way.
It's wood textured wallpaper, but
So what are you asking? Like what skills that we have?
What skill? Valuable? Like I think that's the only one I have. Like what skill do you have? I mean, you know artillery. Like that is an important skill.
I grew up operating a lot of different kinds of heavy machinery. And my dad is kind of my dad doesn't like to pay people to do things. And I would say that I am an expert of nothing, but I am
so jack of all trades, master of none.
Yes, absolutely. So like I can do basic electrical work and basic carpentry and plumbing, and I've done additions onto homes and a little bit of everything. There's just lots of stuff like that. If there was anything to be done that didn't really require a serviceman to come out, then we did it ourselves all the time. So I don't know. I've chopped trees down and split wood, and lots of tractor operation and small engine repair and large engine repair. If it's internal combustion they're all internal combustion. If it's carbureted and not fuel injected, there's no computer in that vehicle, then I'm pretty confident there.
There will be a space for you in Indiana, Kyle. You'll be welcome into our compound.
I am. I know
you are his fifth choice.
And I think the thing that would make me most valuable is I know where the stuff is. I know where the cool stuff is and where the people are who have it, and they know me, and they won't shoot me on sight, hopefully. But I just know a lot of people in Georgia and in a lot of states, though I don't know if travel would be a good idea during an actual post-apocalyptic scenario that we're describing here. But I know a lot of people that have a lot of scary stuff and are like actually prepared for this sort of thing. Like I've got my cupboard full. I've got lots of beans and rice. We're killing my cow, by the way. She's getting turned into steaks.
That's happening. It's time.
We're
like right now.
Yeah, she's drip drying in the other room. No, she's getting slaughtered soon. That like this week, next week, soon. We did.
Well, I had no idea. I'd gotten you something.
Yeah, Dad and I were discussing it, and I was like, I've only got like 8-9 pounds of meat here, like frozen. Maybe we should slaughter that cow. And let's get a bunch of steaks and hamburger. And he sent me a link from some website called the Beef Boys, and I was like, "Oh no, Dad, what have you sent me?" But it was actually some meat. It was, or maybe it was like Meaty Man or something. It was something like that. That could be like a double meaning. But it was some guys who were like showing the breakdown of a steer and how many steaks, how many pounds of hamburger, how much this, that, and the other that you get from one. And I was like, oh yeah, tell you what, Dad, you kill the cow and slaughter it, and let's just split it. Let's just split this thing. I don't need all of that. And I'll go to Home Depot, get a deep freeze, fill that bitch up with hamburger meat. Did you see Ronda Rousey's video where she was showing how prepared she was?
No.
I'll pull it up. It's worth a watch. It's like a minute and 30 seconds. She's getting flamed for it.
What are your skills?
Mine, comparable to Kyle's. I can do small and large engine repair. I've done some woodworking. I don't know if I could build an addition by myself, but I volunteered at Habitat for Humanity a bunch of times to learn those skills, so I've got some.
Yeah.
I also can operate machinery. I have tractors and forklifts and skid steers and shit like that. If that was,
and you can literally fly.
Yeah, I think that.
Like that's.
I mean, if you have a transportation problem solved by going 25 miles an hour on clear days, then I'm your guy.
Ho there!
Yeah.
Who leads this province? The Nightwing. And they just point up in the air and
yes. Noisy, easy shot.
I am the Nightwing now. Shit, we never thought about shooting him.
Get me with a slingshot and break the prop. Are you guys ready?